Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching this video and thank you for subscribing. Today I'll give you 10 steps how to become an airline pilot. And it's 10 because there are 10 general steps. Maybe there are like 1,000, 100,000 steps you have to take to really get there. But these are the general steps, yeah? Step 1 is make sure you have math and science in your high school, or you did something like that, because you have to show that you can do this. It's really important to have that. Step 2, find a good school. And with a good school, I don't mean like the biggest school or the best known school or something like that. Make sure you know people who are already from that school, who are already working at an airline. The question is, of course, how do you choose a good school like that? I would suggest to visit the information day, but that's just to get a general idea of how the school looks like. Because more than that, it will always be positive, it will always be perfect, awesome and great. And they will not tell you anything about the bad thing. They won't tell you how many people there are on the ground or looking for a job. So please just go there to see if you see yourself walking around those people who are over there. It makes a huge difference. You can also talk to people who are already from that school. So just approach some students, ask if they could get their email address or something like that, and just start talking about it. Or go to a forum, ask about that school on that forum, because people will be honest over there. If you ask a person who is like invited for that information day to talk about the school, of course they'll tell like only the nice stuff. They won't say, oh yeah, but I'm already done for 2 years or 3 years, I cannot find a job. But really, as just you start, yeah, I mean, they will never tell you that. But some student who's in the school, they don't care. And actually, if I would have been contacted by someone who wants to be a pilot or wants to start that training, I would be exactly the same. I would just say really how it is, because you are in that situation right now. And there are a lot of things which you don't know prior to starting the training. Just make sure you contact someone of the school and stay in contact, ask about how things are going, you know. Another thing is that make sure you have a school which is attached to some other company. So that means that if your school is going bankrupt or something like that, then you always have a backup. I've maybe seen 3 schools going down in my country the last few years. And I mean, you don't want to be in a school like that, if you understand what I mean. And you don't want to tell an airline that your school, where you're coming from, is bankrupt or doesn't exist anymore. Another good way to find out if your school is good is to talk to someone who is at an airline and what they think, what the airline thinks about your school. Because then you know if you have a good chance of being invited to an airline. Some schools are just well known for making pilots, but it's like more about quantity than quality. So those airlines will never hire people from that specific school. And then of course the question is, how do you meet someone who is at an airline and knows exactly how it works, right? So I would just go on forums also, ask a lot of questions, get email addresses, you know, talk to them. And I'm sure there are a lot of people who wanted to help you or wanted to explain how things work. So let's move on to the next step, which is step number 3. Always do your utmost best. If you think like, oh, can I do this, or I'm insecure about it, don't be this, because you can do this as long as your motivation is high enough. I've seen a lot of people who thought that they could just do this real easy because they were already a glider pilot or they had already a PPL and they were doing less better, or how do you say that? Less good, or they were not doing so well as the people who had no background. So it really depends on motivation. As long as motivation is good enough, then you will have no problem. And actually, I think that's with all things in life, right? Motivation is everything. So step number 4. Okay, what I really hate actually, but what is so true, is that you have to know people a lot. You have to talk to people, be very social and stuff. And you will notice that you get a job like way quicker than someone who doesn't do that. And of course there are companies who it doesn't work like that. For example, the company I work for right now is totally not like that. They don't want to have to do anything with people knowing from the company or something like that. So you're just a number, and that's really good because then you all have the same chance to be invited, you know, or to do it, and not have like this really advantage because your dad is in the same company, for example. But with a lot of airlines, it does work like that. So if you, for example, know someone who happens to be a chief pilot somewhere, then you're really lucky. Who knows a friend who is a HR person at that company that you're, you know, that you're in. So it makes a lot of difference. And I hate that it works like that because I don't like to talk to people because of their job, but it really works like that. And you're also one of the first to know if there is a job opportunity somewhere, because most of the time they will ask within the company if there's someone who knows other people for one kind of position. It depends. If you already apply before the thousands after you do that, then you have like advantage. So it's really important to do that, to talk to people and to get as much information as possible. Number 5 is actually pretty easy. It is apply to airlines. And you're probably thinking, easy applying to airlines? Yeah, it's really like you apply, put your CV down there, make a nice letter, and there's nothing more you can do. And I know that, I mean, I've been told when I was unemployed, they said like, yeah, you have to apply to an airline like 40 hours a week or something. I know that's not possible because you also have to work, fly as much as possible, and what also is really important is that within that, just make sure that you make yourself different than all the others.